We have some big news right now. Elon Musk is now calling for the United States to leave not just NATO, which is the most critical security alliance of the 21st century, but also to leave the United Nations. Musk has now publicly talked about how he supports the United States leaving the United Nations and leaving NATO, essentially abandoning the world stage for good. NATO is an alliance that was formed in order to protect Europe and the United States from Russian aggression following the Cold War. The United Nations is an intergovernmental organization with the goal of promoting international security and peace, developing friendly relations among nations around the world, and achieving international cooperation. Leaving the United Nations and leaving NATO would be a historic departure from American precedent and would essentially alienate America on the world stage. We'll see if Donald Trump, Elon Musk's superior, agrees with him. I'll do a full breakdown on what this will all mean on my Substack shortly, so be sure to subscribe for free at the link in my bio. As always, follow along for all the news that you need to know about. More to come soon.
For Elon Musk, it was particularly brutal. He grew up in South Africa as a scrawny kid on the autism spectrum, so he had no social input-output skills. He was no friends, and he was beaten up quite often. But the scars from that were minor compared to what happened when he went home after being beaten up once. He was in the hospital for 4 days, but he gets home and his father makes him stand in front of him for 2 hours while the father tells him he's a loser and that it was his fault, and takes the side of the kid who beat up Elon. And so it's one of the oldest tropes in mythology, which is the aspiring young superhero fighting the dark side of the Force and finding out Darth Vader is his father, having to overcome those demons. I think most of us, I mean, you have a very interesting background yourself, from Botswana to Manchester to here in London. I think most of us have things that drive us, and sometimes there's some demons from childhood. But the question is whether you harness those demons or those demons harness you. And in Elon Musk's case, the answer is both.
Do you find that that's nearly always the case, that those demons create both your, as Tim Grover said to me, Tim Grover was the coach for Michael Jordan, Kobe, and he speaks to everybody having a dark side and a light side, and they have a two-way relationship with each other. They typically come from the same place. So he'd speak to Michael Jordan's greatness coming from the same place that his dark side came from.
And you've just described the entire theme of the Elon Musk book, which is darkness and lightness woven together, each coming from the same place, sometimes driving people crazy, sometimes driving them to do things they didn't think they'd be able to do. And you want to take out the dark strands of Elon Musk, the demon mode, as his girlfriend Grimes calls it,